Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. Welcome to my YouTube station. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I worked at IRS for a decade. I've been in private practice for 4 decades. I will have been doing this for 50 years. I've worked thousands and thousands of cases. Many of you have come to me because you've seen me on the national news. I've been a lot on the national news. You can go ahead and look at my website at 777irs.com. You can look at my cast of characters there, and you can see who's on my team and all my news clips. I want to talk to you today about Optima tax relief and things that you need to know about Optima and large companies. This is not a video to tell you that any company is good or bad. I am not making that call. My job is not to put anybody down. I don't do that, but I do want to tell you about the large companies and what you have to be aware of. The reason they charge so much is they have a large stream of people that they have to pay. It's just like if you go and buy something retail has to pay their costs. They have to pay the middleman. They have to pay this person and that person. And that's pretty much what the large companies do. First of all, when you use Optima or other companies, they have a big advertising nut that they have to use every month. I couldn't even imagine. I'm guessing they've got to spend a couple $100,000 in advertising. And the first person that you speak to are salespeople. They are salespeople that really, they're trying to sell you what Optima can do for you. That's a problem. That's a problem with any of the big companies, not just them. Remember, this is not a knock on them. It's a knock on every big company. How do you know who's a big company? If it says ad, if you're doing your Google search, it has a little ad. Those companies are spending big bucks to get your business, so their advertising budget is pretty big. Well, when you have to go ahead and keep that budget up and pay salesmen who answer the phones, many are closers who go ahead and size you up, and they bill according to what they think that you can go ahead, what they can get for you. They make a nice commission, I'm imagining, of what they can get from you. So not only are you paying the salesman for signing you up, you're paying for the advertising budget. And at the end of the day, when you talk to these people, you're really not speaking to the person who's going to work your case. The reality is the person who's working your case is the person that you want to speak to. You want to always go ahead and speak to an attorney, a CPA, an enrolled agent, or someone who's licensed to go ahead and speak to Internal Revenue Service. That's what you have to do. Why does Optima have the complaints they do when they have them? It's because the person who's working the case doesn't know what the salesman said usually at the beginning, even though they put a note. So remember, it's just not Optima, it's the other big companies. I get a lot of calls on this phone right here because people have really been ripped off. And so if you're going to call these companies, you've got to ask to speak to the attorney who's going to work your case. When you call a smaller firm or a firm that you have made, you can see what's going on with them. You want to speak to the person who knows your case, who's been experienced enough to do that. For instance, when you call our firm, we don't have salespeople. You're speaking directly to the person who's going to be working your case or their associate, and that's what you want to do. You want to speak to someone who has worked hundreds and hundreds of. They got to work at least 500 cases to know what they're doing. There's so many different variants of IRS cases and so many variables. You have to work a lot of cases to know what you're doing. Our team has over 250 years of direct IRS work experience, and you just want to speak to the person. Also, you want to be able to give the facts. How does this work? For me, I want to see the financial statement you're going to turn into IRS if you owe debt. I want to see exactly what that looks like because I want to see how IRS is going to respond to that. So if you're going to use a company, and you owe money, make sure you turn the IRS financial statement into them, because that's what IRS is going to make a determination on. They're not going to make a determination on the salesman asking you a couple questions. They need to see either the 433F, the 433A, or the 433 AOIC. So anyway, at the end of the day, if you are going to hire a company, you want to speak to the person, once again, who's working your case, has a lot of experience, and is probably going to be able to tell you how the case is going to end. Well, we can do that here. I'm sure other companies can. Anyway, this is good information for you. Just if you would go ahead and give me a subscription, I'd really appreciate it. And what I told you today is the truth. Is there really such a thing as a good company and a best company? Well, the reality is we're really going to never know, because no one's ever looked at and went ahead and evaluated every single company. It's impossible. Those ads that say we're the best, they're a lie, and they've been put together by the company on top. Blessings. Give me that subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you.